Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, two former champions finally return on AEW Dynamite.
Potential spoilers for Tony Khan's huge announcement next week on AEW Dynamite.
Oh, we're going to go over all of these crazy rumours on AEW's new TV deal, including Collision, $1 billion, Rampage, a whole bunch of stuff.
And a shocking heel turn closes this week's AEW Dynamite. I'm Adam Wilborn.
Shocking heel turn. There he is.
Huh? And it's the news.
Bitey wee bastard of a boy. Anyway, happy 40th to all my very good friends from Aberdeen today. There you go. Willie Miller, represent. Best restaurateur in the world, if you know, you know. Anyway, let's kick things off by talking about the two former champions that returned on last night's episode of AEW Dynamite.
Yes!
Thunder Rosa is back, and Miro is back.
Awesome.
This was fun. I mean, you can put two and two together and figure out why they returned, which we'll talk about as the video progresses. However, they were both in backstage segments, separate backstage segments, where they kind of blew off Renee Paquette.
Oh.
Poor Renee.
She was working on last night.
She was
hell.
getting a pay shift, brother. What's a pay shift?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's because she's given up on the podcast because we're the best, that's why.
There you go, admitted defeat. Miro came first. He was after the first match. He, shades on, took them off, ignored Renee, went into Tony's office.
What a boy.
A couple of segments later, Thunder Rosa does the same. I think she said something along the lines of, hey, looks like a good night to talk to Tony Khan, eh? And there we go. So they're both back in action. This is good. They've both been out since roughly the same time. Thunder Rosa relinquished the Women's World Championship in August. Miro kind of vanished after him and Darby and Sting beat the House of Black at All Out last year.
Yeah, I forgot that was his last thing.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. And then there's been all sorts of reports on creative ideas maybe turned down, all kinds of stuff going on. Fightful Select have reported that these returns are directly tied into something we're about to talk about. Speaking of things we're about to talk about.
Yes, so Tony Khan made a huge announcement about a huge announcement next week on last night's AEW Dynamite, and according to Fightful Select, no crap, just Sap, Sean Ross Sap, it is likely tied to the launch of the promotion's upcoming new Saturday show, Collision. He said next week he's going to deliver one of the most important announcements ever in the history of AEW. Major rumours around Collision, of course, which is rumoured to kick off in mid-June when they are, in Chicago. Interesting that. Of course, Warner Bros. Discovery are set to announce the annual Upfront next Wednesday, which is the big look at what we've got coming up.
TV stuff incoming. Yeah, and the other part of this Fightful thing that I kind of glossed over there was that in the same select... What do they call their series where they have lots of tiny reports? I can't remember. Niblets. Let's call them Niblets.
I like that.
Niblets. Why not? They said that Miro and Thunder Rosa, as well as some other incoming people returning, are part of the Collision plans too.
Yes.
What do you think of Miro and Thunder Rosa being back? I'm aware we just sped past that.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Thunder Rosa's been doing commentary stuff, I believe, for AEW, but whilst I love her doing that, we're huge fans of Thunder Rosa. Obviously, she's insanely talented, and it's been a real shame because she's just been missing due to injury and physical issues, etc., etc. So that's awesome. And yeah, Miro was the name that I'd always come out with whenever people would ask me, oh, who do you think should be next for blah, blah, blah. I've had him picked as the person who finally dethrones Orange Cassidy for quite some time. Yeah. Orange Cassidy's being held together like Adam Cole around that Survivor Series that year. And I feel like Miro's going to come in and just go, yeah, I'm gonna kill you because I'm Miro. Exactly, yeah. But look, the issues with upper management, whatever you want to say, just pure speculation on my behalf. I'm glad, hopefully, that's all been cleared up because I think they're two phenomenally talented wrestlers who need to be on television.
So let's talk about the TV deal a little bit, right? This might take a while because there's a lot of stuff to get through. And before we talk about this, let's just stress that these are rumors. These are not necessarily definitive reports. They're just word, speculation, things going around. Nobody has outright reported that AEW is getting upwards of $1 million. No Sean Ross Sapp, no Joe Lanza, whom I'm about to speak about in a little minute.
No, the facts are Aberdeen are the last major team to beat Real Madrid in the European final. Is that right?
Folks, where's the
That's right, I get it right.
That's right. 2 stars on the badge. It's not for everyone.
But these are just rumours.
There you go.
There you go.
Right, let's get into this. So this rumour, this stuff started coming to light when Ryan Frederick of the Wrestling Observer posted the following on that website's message board on Monday.
How does this start? Anyway.
Well, let's carry this snowball all the way down the hill. He posted, I don't have exact numbers as far as years and dollars. However, I'm quite confident in predicting predicting that it's going to surpass 1 billion in the overall total value. Editing this to make sure it's clear that I'm talking overall value, not per year. Yeah, 1 billion a year would
Jesus
would be mental. Fair play. Now the rumors kind of went nuts from there. There was a bunch of like teases on socials, and I understand why these things kind of snowball, because a lot of people were posting like Scrooge McDuck gifs, like people who usually know things, like this side-eye emoji, which I actually tried to mute on Twitter yesterday. I'm not sure if it worked.
Yeah, it is rubbish when people drop that.
Yeah, so things got even weirder when Joe Lanza of the Flagship Wrestling podcast / Voices of Wrestling just commented in that. So this was in a Discord server, brother. It gets even
This is why. Anyway.
So he was addressing the rumors when he posted this, right? He wasn't reporting. He was addressing the rumors, and he clarified that in his next message. I'll just read you what Joe said in a Discord server. It's 5 years, 1.1 to 1.2 billion. That's the deal making the rounds that all of these people are talking about. Involves full Warner Brothers Discovery integration. It's likely signed or already, or agreed upon already. There. No eyes, as in the emoji. That's the story. Now, is the story accurate? This was his next post, like a minute later, that people conveniently ignored, the poor guy. I don't know. Nobody in AEW is talking, obviously. You'd have to confirm from the TV side. So what he was doing here was referencing the people that things were being coy about. This is what they'd learned, and he'd learned about it on Tuesday. Now, these comments were misconstrued to such a degree that he had to go on and make a free post on the Flagship's Patreon page saying Voices of Wrestling / the Flagship have no details on any completed or potential AEW media rights deal and never claims to, emphasizing that he was just addressing the rumors. So, $1 billion deal is not yet in place, my very good friends. Now, are you ready? This goes on and on and on. Fightful Select have another, like, Sean published a thing, like, with everything they'd learned.
Yes.
Right, I'm going to try and be quick with this, but that's going to be impossible. So, Fightful was unable, obviously, I've started in the wrong place. AEW Collision, debuting mid-June. That is expected to coincide.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's expected to coincide with a cash injection for AEW and an extension of the promotion's partnership with Warner, according to sources. An announcement should be expected around the time of the upfronts, right? Fightful were unable to confirm the $1 billion amount because that won't be official until someone makes it so, with neither party confirming the deal's value. Warner sources have suggested that Collision, rather than an all-encompassing AEW deal, was the planned announcement. CM Punk has been pushing for another return opponent on Collision, aside from the already Chris Jericho rumoured thing. AEW apparently has major plans and a marquee match tentatively scheduled for the event, so it sounds like something to look forward to.
Bobby Fish, probably.
There you go, Bob Fish. When Collision launches, AEW's Friday show, Rampage, will kind of like become an equivalent of WWE Heat from back in the day.
And I'll stop watching.
Channel 4 Sunday morning, represent. Or was it Sunday afternoon? I can't remember.
Sunday afternoon.
But it was on, it was like...
It's after football, I remember.
S.A. Rios, all those guys.
But don't get me started on S.A. Rios, we ain't got time.
The promotion plan has already set a number of Saturdays aside for Collision. However, when they need to, they might end up booking an arena for 2 nights in a row and tape some Collision on a Thursday.
That makes sense, yeah.
And while a hard brand split isn't planned, AEW plans, and I quote, to have a fresh roster approach with some significant names. Again, we should stress that most of this is speculation at the moment. However, I think, and this is me editorializing it now, again, this is not me reporting, I don't want to get landed here, this is probably quite an accurate figure, right? This is a realistic guess, because currently AEW earns $44 million annually, right? If you break down a 5-year $1 billion deal, it's roughly, 4 or 5 times what they're currently getting, which makes sense, because Dynamite, whether you like the company or not, is in the top 10 cable shows almost every single Wednesday, sometimes number 1, sometimes in the top 5. It's an extremely well-performing show, despite ratings kind of stagnating or so over the past year.
Oh, yeah.
They are still killing it in the metrics that matter, and that's why it would increase. Also, when that deal was initially signed, we didn't have Rampage, we didn't have Collision, and if this is an exclusive deal for AEW content, it might include pay-per-views as well. So when you kind of fold all that revenue in and consider the market forces and you consider how well Dynamite performs in general, it makes sense that they would land a big contract, and this is further proof that those people who think this company is going out of business are full of trash.
I mean, it's never going out of business because look at the money they've got behind them, disregarding any TV deals.
You can speak for a while now.
But I'm not really going to say much more. I just have it out in the comments. I just like the fact that we find out this information through comments on Discord servers. It's like finding out Messi's going to Chesterfield because someone burped it at a wedding or something.
We're probably being buggers by like repeating it here, but we're trying to stress like this stuff's been misconstrued a little bit. So those are the rumours.
Yes.
We'll find out next Wednesday, I guess.
And we're not wrestling journalists. I know I have to say it's a joke, but today I'm going to retire that gimmick.
We're idiots.
For one day.
We are complete buffoons.
Yes. Look at
this! 2 stars, folks.
Yeah.
You haven't got that, have you? Unless you're like an AC Milan fan or something.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. Really enjoyable show. We'll be talking all about it later on the WhatCulture Wrestling podcast. WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get podcast from. AEW Dynamite Review. Miller, of course, will be here later on with ups and downs. And a big up, but also down in my heart, was the betrayal of Kenny Omega. He obviously had that steel cage match with Jon Moxley. Obviously not Kenny Omega's first cage match. That went down on the first ever episode of AEW Rampage. So, people forget that. Anyway, he's got the match won after previously V-triggering Jon Moxley out of the cage and landing cock first on the cage.
I just got that joke.
Okay.
Levels.
So anyway, he's landed with his cock on the cage and survived that. They've all got back in. He's one-winged angel, Jon Moxley. Match is over, Andy. It's all one-winged angel. 1, 2. Don Callis stabs his son in the head. He's not his son, but he's the father figure. Stabs him in the head with the screwdriver that he'd previously taken away from Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley wins. How could you, Don Callis? And subsequent to this, Kenny Omega, on being betrayed, apparently said, if I can't trust my family, who can I trust? The answer's right in there, Kenny. Come on, mate. But shocking this.
Yeah.
But also sort of anticipated, but also a great twist.
Great pro wrestling drama television. I thought Dynamite in general was awesome. You guys will obviously review on the show. This is not a review show, but I thought the show was great. And I thought that this was a very effective turn. I really appreciate that they lingered on it afterwards. When Callis did the thing, they had the post-match where he, like you said, he was going to stab him, but he just kissed his forehead and went out.
Yeah.
Like, we got like 2 minutes of just letting the dust settle. That's good. That's nice. I sometimes AEW is criticised for not doing that often enough.
Yeah.
So when they do it, and the moment lands, I think it's important to praise them for that.
Do you remember that episode where was it Andrade just like 30 seconds left, time to betray my brother?
Yeah, piss off, Dragon Lee. Anyway, let's go to a commercial.
That was so wild. But yeah, you're right. Give it a chance to breathe. A really enjoyable episode. Like I said, we'll review it on the WhatCulture Wrestling podcast channel later on today.
House of Black, the lights.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all the way in. It looked like a movie.
It's a lights out match.
It's
sort of.
It's so sick. I love those people.
Right, let's move on to your questions that I've just realised I have accidentally got 4 instead of 3, so a bumper edition today. We haven't talked about the news.
Guess who's got a 3-hour meeting in 5 minutes?
Right. Thank you to everyone in the YouTube community who sent this to us. Also, we take them from Twitter. Tomorrow's Wacky Friday, so nothing serious.
We go on Twitter or community tomorrow. You pick.
Ooh, that's a coin.
You got a coin?
I've got a coin.
Oh.
Heads or... What is this coin? Oh, okay. Heads or tails? I don't know why I've said that. Heads, if it's heads, it's YouTube community. Because they think with their heads. It's tails.
Tails. Twitter
it is. There'll be a weird meme going out later on today for that one. But anyway, YouTube
I need to
questions.
think of a creature. Let me know what creature we should use. Comment section.
Yes. It's going to be full of arguments about AEW making a boob pound and people going, kangaroo! Robert Smith, who do you guys think will... Thank you for your question, Robert. Who do you guys think will be the next WWE talent to jump to AEW? Maybe Drew McIntyre / Galloway?
Yeah. Not to copy your answer, but I think so.
Yeah.
Drew rules. I love Drew McIntyre. I know, maybe his character for since losing to Roman maybe hasn't been the freshest thing in the world.
To turn heel.
But he just had one of the best WWE matches of the year at WrestleMania. So yeah, I think it'll be Drew. He won't be scared of exploring options elsewhere. He had a great run outside of WWE when he was Lyco the first time. Of course, reinvented himself, came back and kicked ass. He's had a great run in WWE right now. He's been a 2-time world champion, for goodness sake. I think that if he stays in that company, he will be incredible. But if he leaves as well, he will also be incredible. Me, personally, I'm ready to see him somewhere fresh. I think it will be true.
I think it works best for everyone. I'm sorry to not give any more insight here, Rob, but I think you've nailed it.
Yeah.
I think it's best for everyone. AEW would benefit from having someone like Drew McIntyre on their roster. Drew McIntyre or Drew Galloway will benefit from a change of scenery. And WWE, yeah, I feel like they feel they need to use him because look at him, he's a former world champion. But they've not done anything with him recently. I thought he was going to turn heel immediately after WrestleMania, and I still think you can do this, and maybe that's a way to write him out of the company. But he's great. WCPW legend, of course.
Big agree.
You're welcome, WWE.
Who knew that the frontman from The Cure had such good wrestling taste?
Thanks.
Shout out to Robert.
Rob. Big Dude 55 asks, who would you book Bad Bunny's next match with?
Oh, gosh. Wow, okay. So far, he's had Finn Balor, and he's had The Miz and John Morrison in the Royal Rumble, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Priest as well?
Yeah, Priest. Yeah, of course. Why did I say Finn Balor?
I don't know.
It was Damian Priest. It was like my favourite match.
I did like Finn Balor dropping the holla as he came out.
I think we've just going back and forth. I think we just stumbled upon it there. I think Finn Balor.
You're close. You're right in the right stable.
Oh, I know where you go.
Dominic Mysterio. he could really get a great match out of Bad Bunny because he's one of the best workers in the and the best heel in the world right now.
Rollins.
If
Rollins goes heel again sometime, that'd be great.
Also, Gunther. Sorry, Bad Bunny. I really like him.
Poor Bad Bunny. It's like, I didn't get into wrestling for this.
For God's sake, do it in Puerto Rico next. It was awesome.
I'm a millionaire. I don't want to get my skin chopped off my chest. Poor guy.
The Game Slave 2 gives us our third question of the day. Morning Legends, now that older wrestlers like Lita and Trish Stratus have come back in a more regular capacity, who else would you like to see make a return for that division?
Ooh, Molly Holly's an obvious answer. She's already on the books.
Yep, Phil James just exploded.
Already on the books of the company. I think she'd be a good bet, man. Like she's shown like little flurries when she's been back and stuff. I mean, I'm not really sure who else.
Get Victoria back in, then you can put her in the Hall of Fame.
There you go, Victoria. There you go. Why
not? Jazz,
Sasha Banks.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Does Jazz still wrestle? Did she retire last year?
I feel like she I don't know.
She was really good, all the way up until the time she stepped away, which I think was last year. But
she can
still good.
This is complete fantasy, but you've given me the opportunity. A little known wrestler called AJ Lee. I think it was quite good back in the day. I don't think it's going to happen, but you give me the opportunity to book it. God, she was great, wasn't she, AJ?
She was fantastic.
She's doing fantastic outside of the...
She doesn't need this stupid sport.
Exactly. Mark Andrew Breyer gives us our fourth question, because I can't count. Mark says, if wrestlers' gimmicks were still all about their jobs outside the ring, what modern untapped profession would make for a great gimmick, and what would be their catchphrase?
A web developer. The catchphrase is "cash these hands."
I like that.
As in cachet, whatever.
Yeah.
There you go. Eat that.
I like a TikToker, right, where their match length is only allowed to be like a minute.
60 seconds.
60 seconds. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how long.
I think they do longer ones now, but that's pretty good.
So this Vine, can we have they'll probably have a Viner, because how WWE are really on the pulse referencing like Ace Ventura or whatever.
Yeah.
Have a Vine stuff. 6 seconds you're allowed. Ding ding, quick pin him! And the catchphrase would be, I want to be a cowboy, baby.
Of course. All right.
Or, stop! I could have dropped my croissant.
Oh, monkey on the car. Was that a line?
I don't know. I think he was probably cut into it, right?
Off.
Classic. And finally, I just saw this tweet and liked it, so I thought I'd share it with you. Someone shared a video of Kota Ibushi shooting himself at fireworks, or works of fire, if you're Matt Hardy, in the middle of East London. Sami Zayn, overnight, tweeted, "This man is a lunatic and a gift to pro wrestling. I need to wrestle him once more before my career is done." Yes, please.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That'd just be nice.
Good. Be fun.
Anyway, happy 40th.
Happy 40th. There you go.
There's any thoughts on everything we discussed?
I hate wearing football shirts, man. Like, see, when you're a bit when you're not in the best shape and you feel it pressing against this polyester, but I had to flex today.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll be wearing one tomorrow ahead of inevitably Chesterfield losing in the playoff fight.
Come on, the Fields.
Chester the Field Mouse.
Chester the Pester. Is that?
We'll have to tell you what that's our background for tomorrow.
There you go. Stick him up, brother.
There's your
boom! He's the creature. He's the creature. There you go. The Christmas creature.
Sued by the Spyrites. Anyway, thoughts, all that stuff in the comments, or on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, follow both of us, follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H today stands for, hey, it's not for everyone.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dudley Boys sitting down to review AEW Dynamite later on. And of course, Simon Miller bringing ups and downs your way in just a few hours as well. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.